And we take a look at the Bud Light starting lineups. Michael Jordan, Charles Oakley, Brendan Haywood, Jerry Stackhouse back in the lineup tonight. Larry Hughes rounds out the five for the Wizards. For the Hornets, Jamal Mashburn, P.J. Brown, Jamal McGlure is playing so well, and David Wesley and Baron Davis, who is back in the lineup. 14 points away from moving to the number 3 spot all time, passing the late, great Wilt Chamberlain. That's another milestone for Michael Jordan as we start tonight. Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, David Aldridge, nice to have you with us on this Wednesday night.
Christian Laettner normally starts. He is sick in the back of the hotel with the flu. Oakley in his stead.
Hughes outside opens things up.
Larry Hughes has been playing the best basketball of his NBA career. He's been carrying a major load for Doug Collins.
Doug was saying before the game, sometimes we forget he's only 23 years old. Whistle. And a foul as we check in courtside. Third man on our team, David Aldridge. D8.
Guys, you know, Jerry Stackhouse, they didn't know if he was going to play tonight. Went through a lot of workouts on Monday. Didn't feel any soreness on Tuesday. Decided to give it a go. He knows that right now he has to keep trying to play and stay warm. He said that he didn't want Doug Collins to get any ideas about taking him out of the lineup. So he's going to have to play. He's going to try to play as long as he can. Doug Collins says no restrictions on his time.
Jamal McGlure is starting to develop that shot. He works at it extra hours after every practice, and it's really paid off, Bill.
He had the huge game, tying a career-high 22 points against Amari Stoudemire and the Suns. Beautiful layoff on the penetration by Larry Hughes. But one of the things that the Hornets are starting to develop is an identity of coming to McGlure early in the game. Time and time again, they'll just pound it in. He's open on the lob against Haywood. They didn't see him.
Here's Wesley, who's been so red hot, and he opens up the same way that he's ended the last two games. 62 points he scored for Paul Silas in the last 2 ball games, and he drains the jumper to tie it at 4.
Like the last time we were here 2 weeks ago. A blistering start. Can the teams maintain the pace?
Michael Jordan touches it for the first time and drills it over Jamal Mashburn.
Paul Silas wants to attack Michael Jordan, wants to keep him in his normal range of 20 to 25 points, and then run at him on the other end of the court.
P.J. Brown a little strong. Hughes will pull it and leaves it for Jordan. That one rims out, and P.J. Brown will clear it out for the Hornets.
Larry Hughes, who is blessed with such incredible athleticism, is playing a very controlled and disciplined game for Doug Collins.
Mashburn trying to get free of Michael Jordan and does.
Jordan, one of the 4 greatest defensive players of all time, makes the decision early to force Mashburn left and keep him on the perimeter. Mashburn in the post will be a major factor tonight for Paul Silas.
Jordan on a drive and a finger roll off the glass. 10 away from the number 3 spot in the all-time scoring charts.
Has anybody missed yet?
1 shot on each side. That's it. One team's 4 for 5, the other 3 for 4, and it just keeps going that way. P.J. Brown gets in the book, so 4 of the 5 starters for New Orleans have scored.
These 2 teams are not playing like 500 ball clubs, which they both are right now, and Larry Hughes dribbles it out of bounds.
Hornets came in 22-20, the Wizards 21-20, each in 3rd place in their respective division.
Amazing that McGlure doesn't come from the weak side on that. You got to commit early as a big shot blocker.
This time he goes to the hook again, and again over Haywood, he drills it. Jamal McGlure, who scored the first 6 points of the game the other day in their win over Phoenix.
That was a big win for them. They had not been playing well. They had lost 5 in a row. We were part of that with the Boston loss.
Right.
Then they beat the Chicago Bulls, but everybody's been beating Chicago of late.
Hughes rimmed out a 3.
With the exception
of the Hawks.
Of your Atlanta Hawks.
My Atlanta Hawks. They didn't look too good Monday against Chicago. And turned over, and here comes Larry Hughes on a break. So Hughes, who turned it over 2 trips ago, gets a steal and repays him to tie it at 10.
Perimeter defense. Hughes, Jordan, and Stackhouse. They can switch everything. They're incredibly long and quick-handed. Will the shorter guards for New Orleans be able to get by that perimeter defense?
Lob underneath. Nice pass from Brown, and McGlure has 6.
Brendan Haywood is having a nightmare there. He's too slow. He is wading into McGlure is already into his play before he even starts his defensive preparation. Unacceptable.
Here's Stackhouse. And Jerry goes straight up over Wesley.
Looks like he hasn't missed a beat. I missed 4 games, unable to play at all with that very sore groin.
We've been tied at every basket so far, 2 through 12.
Somebody's got to get to Hughes in transition.
Stackhouse leans in and then takes it over Wesley. Wow.
That's a tough shot.
Well, for a guy that missed 4 games, and you mentioned the groin injury, he sure doesn't look it tonight. And as DA said, once he gets in a groove, he might play a lot more minutes than even Doug was thinking.
Question will be tomorrow how he feels.
And Mashburn. Wow, this is red hot both ways.
Paul Silas said he wanted Jamal Mashburn to take Jordan into the post. It's really a nightmare matchup for Doug Collins. Doesn't really have anyone he can put on Mashburn other than Michael Jordan.
Both teams 7 for 9 from the floor. Hughes behind Oakley, trying to find a handle with 5, and Baron Davis with a steal and a foul. The participants for the 1-800-CALL ATT shootout have been announced. Log on to NBA.com and find out who'll be shooting during All-Star Weekend. I can tell you one thing, David Wesley's going to be there, and the way he's been shooting threes lately, he is very excited.
When are they announcing that list?
Should we announce it right now, or should we make everybody go to NBA.com? Antoine Walker, Wesley Person, Peja Stojakovic, Pat Garrity, Brent Barry, David Wesley. I just spilled the beans. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I feel bad now.
I'm going with Peja.
Their play the last couple of games where they've averaged 12 steals over the last 2 games against Chicago and Phoenix. Ball on the floor. And Mashburn gets it back. They go to Wesley in the corner, and that's a backbreaker. Wizards play great defense, nearly come up with a steal twice, and with a shot clock winding down, Wesley burns them. Stackhouse lost it, and the Wizards turn it over again. Hornets on an 8-0 run, and they've taken the lead by 6 as the Wizards have come apart here quickly. Hughes off the jumper, way short. Wesley fires. David Wesley, who had 28 in the win over Phoenix and is averaging better than 22 points and almost 6 assists in the last 8 games, has just hit 2 big shots. And the Hornets have broken it open 23-14 on a 9-0 run. The Wizards tonight. Jordan again, missed this one. Rebound comes to Haywood. He gets fouled going up. Let's see if Nolan Fine gives him 2. I believe he will. Washington has missed its last 5 field goal attempts, and now Brendan Haywood, who's a 62% free throw shooter, goes to the line for 2. Davis spins inside, fadeaway jumper, tipped up by Haywood and saved by Oakley. Nicely done. Hornets by 10. Largest lead has been 11. Now Jordan. Stackhouse baseline jumper, got it. 3-pointer for Jerry Stackhouse.
It's a nice skip pass from Charles Oakley. Skipped the one player closest to him and got the ball directly in the corner.
Wesley, baseline, turns, shoots, and misses. And the rebound comes down to P.J. Brown, and he's fouled.
P.J. consistently throughout his career has been one of the league leaders in offensive rebounds. So coming into this game, you've got to know that my main job is to keep him away from the boards. And even then, he's going to get some offensive rebounds on you. And not a big offensive player. You see averaging 10 points a game, but makes the most of his shots. He's one of the league leaders in field goal percentage as well.
Called it on Oakley, his first personal. And Brown, who is an 84% free throw shooter this season, misses the first badly. He's tied for 14th in the league in rebounding at just under 9 a game. And We get our first look tonight at Robert Pack, the former Bullet, who has been signed twice by this team to 10-day contracts and has played well for them.
Yeah, they like his energy off the bench, so much so that sometimes they'll go with the 3-guard offense, Wesley, Davis, and Robert Pack. They've done that a couple of times.
Haywood inside, gets muscle, goes up strong, and scores off the glass. Nice looking shot.
He knew that there was no place for him to go but up. He had to go up and power himself up.
Wizards have cut an 11-point lead to 6. EJ backs in, now fades away. Nice play by Haywood to defend him, and Hughes has the board. Oakley will fire the jumper and hit it. Charles Oakley, who averages just 1.5 points a game.
I think anything he gives you offensively is gravy, but defensively is where he really earns his wear. And he did a good job that last time, just boxing out Jamal McGlure, keeping him away from the boards.
Wizards have outscored the Hornets 7-0 in the last minute 15 seconds. Pack knocked away and stolen by Oakley.
They've got numbers.
Great pass for Jordan. Michael scores. He wanted a foul.
I don't blame him.
Wizards have cut it to 2. Jordan needs 8 points now to pass Chamberlain.
See his body twist around as soon as he got in the air. Somebody hit him.
Mashburn from 18 feet. And Michael has the rebound, and the Wizards can tie or take the lead. Hughes traveled. Oh, he got held. Thought Nolan Fine was going to in the game on 3 of 6 shooting. And now is just 8 points away from surpassing Wilt Chamberlain. So basketball being played in New Orleans again. Remember, the Jazz played here from 1975 through 79. They played 5 seasons and then moved to Utah for the 1979-80 season. Pete Maravich led the NBA in scoring with the Jazz in 76-77 with an average of 31.1 points per game. He had an amazing college career at LSU, averaged over 44 points per game for his career, and 40 or more per game every year, including his freshman season. And there it is. Michael Jordan has tied the game at 26. MJ with 8 points in the game, and now needs just 6 to surpass Chamberlain.
Boy, it's where you want to come out of a timeout, execute your play to get a good open shot.
To bring it to Oakley, to have him handle up high, and the big screen on the weak side from Haywood frees up Jordan. He'll knock that down every time. He just looks so light, so fresh, Jordan does.
He really does. Inside, Haywood. Taken down, snatched out of there by McGlure.
And particularly for Jordan, that he's been playing over 41 minutes a game the last 5. Stackhouse's absence has really added to his burden.
Since Michael Jordan's become a starter, he's playing more minutes per game than he did 2 of the last 3 seasons he was with the Bulls. So, I mean, here's a guy, and Doug knows because he coached him when he was a rookie. This guy, Michael Jordan, is going to be 40 years old in 3 weeks. He's averaging 18 points a game. Bill talked about how many minutes he's playing a game. You think about Jerry Rice is playing in the Super Bowl this weekend, and Michael Jordan's playing in front of us, and one's 40 already, and one's going to be in 3 weeks. It's just phenomenal.
And Stockton's got the Utah Jazz playing fabulous basketball at 40.
New shot clock. Wesley goes straight up with it. Got it. Man, he's been on fire outside the arc.
You would think that somebody would stay at home with David Wesley, as Baron Davis can only look on and say, how come I can't get out there and get some of this action?
Baron's looking up at the Jumbotron watching the game from that peculiar position because of the bad back. Jordan on the drive.
Wow.
McGlure got a piece of it, and he still kissed it off the glass. 10 for Michael.
Horrible defensive decision by New Orleans. Why would you switch Jamal Mashburn off on Tyronn Lue? Tyron's a good player. You stay at home with Michael Jordan. Let the other guys beat you.
Mashburn with 3 on the shot clock and got it. Jordan will not take the shot. The first quarter comes to a close. Both teams red hot from the field. And the Wizards had a nice run going. Michael Jordan had a great quarter, 10 points. Gee, I wonder if he's going to hit 14 tonight. So if I'm you folks, if you were thinking about going anywhere and you wanted to see another NBA milestone, I wouldn't take too long a break. Jordan with 10 in the quarter. His Wizards very much in the hunt.
Well, 65% for the Wizards, 59% for the Hornets. The Hornets have the advantage from the three-point line, 3 for 6. Both teams with 14 points in the paint and 7 rebounds. But second chance points, a little bit more in the advantage, to the advantage, I should say, of the Hornets, 4-1.
Both clubs, both have been on significant runs. Right now, the Wizards trying to get back on the offensive end of things, and Brown is fouled underneath.
Should have dunked it the first time instead of trying to pass it.
Michael Jordan's back in there. We'll see if the Wizards' game improves, because when he was in there, things were running smoothly.
Always the temptation when you're as great as Michael Jordan is, why ever take him out? Because Michael Jordan at his worst is literally better than almost everybody else.
Right.
Just a smallest handful of guys.
Just needs a couple baskets to move into the number 3 spot all time on the NBA scoring career chart. Kwame Brown missed a second free throw.
Kwame Brown, the barometer for him is the first possession. Tough pass by Robert Pack.
Pack trying to throw a dart that had eyes to George Lynch, and it's a turnover.
The developing book on Kwame Brown is that if he makes a good play the first time he touches it, it's going to be a good night for him, but he's unable to fight his way out of a struggling situation.
Stacey Augmon fronting Michael Jordan, who was trying to come around a pick. Didn't get a touch there. 5 on the shot clock, and here's Kwame Brown going to the hole again, and he's fouled again.
Kwame is trying so hard. You see him moving at a hyperkinetic pace, as opposed to when you got to, all right, Patrick Ewing.
Patrick looks good too.
Oh, he lost 20 pounds since he started coaching this season.
I said to him before the game, looks like you can places now. Just trying to help the young kids.
He can play. Before the game, Patrick Ewing was out here working with Kwame Brown, showing him the turnaround jumper. Sweeten is one of the greatest shooting big men from the perimeter in the history of the NBA. They'll be retiring his number, Madison Square Garden, February 28th. What a night that will be.
2-point game again with 6:20 to go in the half. Baron Davis back in there.
Zone defense every time on the set defense for Washington. And it's really ground their offense to a halt. It's nothing but perimeter shooting, either by Davis that time or David Wesley, who's taking a rest currently.
So Baron Davis' first field goal of the night is a 3. And now trying to stay on Larry Hughes, who's so quick.
You told me that Baron Davis wouldn't score until the halfway point of the second quarter and New Orleans was still ahead. I'd say you've been out on Bourbon Street too long.
Here's Stacey Augmon on the break. Nice pass from George Lynch to get him out there. And just about everybody on the Hornets roster has scored that's going to play tonight.
Doug Collins said transition defense will be a major factor for us tonight. Right now, though, inaccurate shooting and dominant rebounding by New Orleans, leading to runouts and no transition defense. Doug Collins, he's up off the bench. He's seen enough.
Pack to Lynch. That didn't look like a couple of 10-year guys either.
Larry Hughes trying to call a timeout. Nolan finds him. What? What is that you're saying?
And the playoffs would be probably afraid of us because no one knows how good we could be, you know. And I think that's intriguing for me. I think that's intriguing for this franchise, is that to go in that dangerous. Sometimes you can't put a roof on how high you can go.
Well, after 41 games last year, the Wizards had the exact same record they do now, 21-20. After 42 games, they were 21-21. They then went on to win their next 5 straight games and improved to 26-21 at the All-Star break, which put them 5 games above 500, seemingly on a roll. They picked it up on the other side of the All-Star break in Los Angeles against the Lakers. Built a 20-point lead in that game, wound up losing the game and losing 9 of their next 10. In fact, of the next 17 games after the break, or I should say after the halfway point of the season.
That's right, could only win 3. And, you know, like we said, they're faced with the same situation. They have 8 more games before the All-Star break. And certainly this team, they played twice. This is a team that's only a half game ahead of them in the conference standing. So they certainly want to finish off strong and go into that All-Star break, because once they come out of the All-Star break, they're right back on the West Coast like last year.
Starting in Sacramento this time on February 11th. Kwame Brown, Hughes, Jordan, Stackhouse, and Tom Thomas as MJ. It's bodied by Augman and scores, and MJ has 12 points. He needs 2 more. He has tied Wilt Chamberlain. Actually, he's a point shy of Wilt Chamberlain for 3rd on the all-time list. Needs 1 to tie, 2 to pass the stilt. Aaron Davis, long jumper, and they finally missed one, and Jordan way up high. Finds Stackhouse ahead of the pack, and Jerry with a nice finger roll.
A good 2-man play. Jordan, first of all, with the rebound to quickly recognize that Stackhouse had the advantage, and Stackhouse closing and finishing.
13 points for Stackhouse. He's 6 of 7 from the field.
Well, you think Doug Collins not happy to have him back?
Oh, man. Campbell, that's blocked by Brown. No call. Here comes Hughes. They run 3-on-3. Nice pass. Kwame can't handle the ball.
Well, that was going to be a difficult pass to handle anyway. They were very close. It was going to be a bounce pass, and the bounce pass kind of skidded away, never really fully came up. Kwame would have had to get down. You see how low the pass was. I mean, it was still catchable.
I think he, you could see him look up at the basket just as that ball got to his fingertips.
Yeah, but again, if the ball comes up a little higher, then I think he automatically catches it. Maybe I shouldn't say automatically, but it's easier to catch.
David Wesley back in the game with Mashburn, George Lynch, Davis, and Campbell. Here's Mash against Jordan. Fadeaway baseline, good. George Lynch, kind of an underrated player, only averages 2 points a game.
Well, he's really known for his defense and his all-out hustle and his transition game. We saw that just before the last time out.
Stackhouse missed on the fadeaway jumper with Wesley on it. Hornets by 7. They've led by as many as 11.
Jordan, get that hand up in the face of Mashburn. Anything you can do to distract him. The concentration and the shooting technique of anybody.
Jordan baseline jumper a little bit short. Wesley scores. Hornets won their first 11 straight games in this arena this season. Stackhouse long J rims it. Wizards have gone cold.
The first quarter, 2 here in the second is the leading score. Michael Jordan a basket away from the number 3 spot all time on the scoring list. May this be it. Not this time. He's missed 3 straight. McGlower will clear it off.
Paul Silas wanted to put size on Jordan. Mashburn doing a fine job in the close post area, and then answers again with his own run out. They are punishing Jordan with that strategy.
And Michael Jordan with a foul. That's his first of the night. Mashburn with a chance for a 3-point play. Quiet 10 points for Jamal Mashburn, including this one.
Jamal Mashburn, a career average of over 18 points a game. Never made the All-Star team. The highest career average of anyone who's never played in an NBA All-Star game. I sure hope he makes it to Atlanta.
Yep. The announcement comes tomorrow of the team. 12-point lead now is the biggest by either club. Michael Jordan in the lane. There's another milestone for somebody who's played the game like no other. Michael Jordan has just hit his 14th point, and that passes Wilt Chamberlain on the all-time scoring list into the number 3 spot.
Wow.
Aaron Davis trying to go to the basket.
Now that is a play. You're lobbing your 6'1" guard, but it's Michael Jordan night.
It's his time right now. The announcement being made right here. Nolan Fine handing him the ball. And there's another one for a trophy case that's got to be as big as this arena. Standing ovation for the greatest to ever play the game. 14 points in the first half and past Wilt Chamberlain. Congratulations, Michael. It's nice to be here to watch it with you.
Jerry Stackhouse back into the game, and you know what's going through Jordan's mind. He doesn't want to allow the emotion to get to him, which has happened so many times in so many arenas this season, especially in Chicago the last time they played there. He's focusing on playing the game.
Yeah, he can be so stoic and straight face. You never know what's going on between those ears.
You see him out there acknowledging the crowd with just a head shake, and that's about all he wants to do. He wants to think about playing the game. Stackhouse drives, double teamed into Kwame inside. He goes up, score the basket. Kwame will go to the line.
Nice delivery from Jerry Stackhouse. He was actually double teamed, but still was able to deliver the pass to Kwame. Kwame had a defender hanging on him as well.
Kwame is 3 of 4 from the free throw line tonight. A little bit strong. 30 seconds to play in the first half. Ashburn with Jordan in his face scores. Shot clock is off. 8 seconds to play. Jordan jumper, got another one. 16 points for Michael Jordan. Davis, that's good if it goes, and it does not. And so Michael Jordan, who needed 14 points to pass Wilt Chamberlain, has 16 in NBA history. Halftime in New Orleans, and the Hornets have a 58-49 lead.
The Wizards and the Hornets on our NBA Wednesday, and the Wizard himself hit another milestone with this shot with 1:03 left in the second quarter. His 14th point of the game to move him into the number 3 spot all time. But the threes were falling for the Hornets as well, courtesy of David Wesley and Jamal Mashburn. And the Hornets, who led by as many as 12 in the first half, have the halftime advantage on their home floor. 58-49 is our halftime score here at New Orleans Arena. Statistically, in the first half, both teams, you can't shoot much better than this. They have been hot from the beginning.
52% for the homestanding Charlotte, New Orleans Hornets. You caught me again there. 4 for 10. This was critical here because Washington only took 3 of them, making 1. New Orleans pounded the Wizards on the boards. They got out, were running the fast break advantage there, and then the bench points. Something that's been a major concern for Paul Silas, because New Orleans is one of the poorer teams in the NBA at getting something out of their bench.
Just about everybody came off. George Lynch had a nice half, and Stacey Augmon played some good defense. For the Wizards, they kind of got a roll going there. They had a 12-1 run, and you thought, okay, they're going to take the lead. And then that guy had to sit down, and their game fell apart a little bit.
That's why you never take him out.
Yeah, that's right.
Wilt at the top of his game never came out. 48 minutes a game, and it's impractical, impossible for Michael to do that. But that's when the difference was established, and their Wizards were never able to cut it down.
Let's check in with DA courtside. David.
Guys, you know, Jerry Stackhouse got hit late in the first half. He got 2 stitches. Obviously, he's back out there to play the second half. But this is a critical season for Jerry. He's going to opt out of his contract at the end of the season and become a free agent. Question is whether the Wizards are going to pay him. He wants a max deal. I don't think the Wizards are going to give him a max deal. That leaves him kind of up in the air as we go through the rest of this season. Having big numbers is obviously something that's going to be very important to him as the year goes on.
He's the number 11 scorer in the NBA coming into the night at almost 23 points a game.
Who else, David, would have the ability to pay him a big contract in terms of salary cap space?
Well, the usual suspects, Bill, would be Denver. Denver's going to have $20 million in cap room. San Antonio's going to have a lot. But frankly, I don't think either of those teams are going to be all that interested in Stack. But he could conceivably take a mid-level exception somewhere. That's always a possibility. Take a little less money and play for a contending team.
How much money is he opting out of?
Well, he's only got a couple years left on this original deal that he signed.
Only a couple.
Yeah. when you get a chance at $90 million, you give up $8.
I'll tell you, a guy that's going to make more and more dough if he continues to improve the way he has been. The guy that scored the first basket of this third quarter, Jamal McGlure, who's got 10 points, and he just seems to get better every ball game. And Paul Silas says if he keeps playing like this, somebody's going to have to ditch some dough for him too, be it here or elsewhere. Here's loose ball. Michael Jordan picks it up and will bring it up. All the way around Mashburn to the baseline, but he missed the jumper, and McGlure the rebound.
Can Baron Davis get it going? Limited by the backspats. If you see the unorthodox gait for someone who is normally so beautiful and so graceful, Baron Davis just 5 first-half points.
One out of 4 hit that 1 3-pointer. Mashburn got an opening over Jordan. Got it.
I like what Paul Silas has done for New Orleans. Attack Jordan every single time. Run him off screens, get him in transition, pound him in the low post. Hopefully take its toll by the end of the game.
Well, Paul told us today, he says, you know, if he gets his 25, I think we can still win. We just can't give him 50. And they did that once last year. Stackhouse going to the rack, and Jerry with a chance for a 3-point play.
Jerry Stackhouse on the isolation. You would think that David Wesley would turn him back to the middle where the help is, particularly since Stackhouse is right-handed.
You see from floor cam the collision underneath, and back to the live action where Stackhouse has 16. So he and Jordan each with 16 here, and we're early in the third quarter.
The ability to sustain offense. Can New Orleans deliver on that front against the zone defense? Careless ball handling by Baron Davis.
McGlure trying to kick it back out to P.J. Brown, and that's stolen away by Larry Hughes. Jordan tried to leave it to Haywood.
What is Brendan Haywood thinking?
And the young guy didn't take the cue, but the ball was knocked out of bounds by New Orleans.
Apparently he wasn't thinking at all. Jordan has this set up the entire way. Just drive it into the teeth of the defense. Know the big man's going to come. The tongue is lapping at the trough.
Here he is on the baseline. Missed the jumper. As Bill said, Paul Silas was hoping that tongue would be wagging for a different reason, out of fatigue. But tonight he's looked awfully fresh for a guy that's 3 weeks from being 40, and he's having fun out there. He's got 16 points.
Interesting thing for me with Jordan is that, you know, here he's got Stackhouse and Hughes, 2 guys who have never been noted as team players. Jordan, the ultimate team player, has got to inspire them and teach them how to play.
Mashburn over Jordan, and Jamal's hit a couple jumpers over Michael Jordan that had pretty good defense in his face. New Orleans Arena, where this team started 11-0 this year. They're looking for their 15th home win and their 23rd victory of the season, and they're off to a good jump in that direction. They lead the Washington Wizards by 12. Jerry Stackhouse, who just made his return tonight from missing 4 games with injury, certainly hasn't looked like he
so far this year, but still he's a player that can provide a lot of offense off the bench.
Jerry Stackhouse back from his groin injury, playing in the first game in 5 for the Wizards, and is on the floor now. Haywood knocked away from behind and stolen by Davis. That's turnover number 10 for Washington.
That's where you have to be experienced in terms of your post-up move, understanding where the defense is, where players are trying to sneak up behind you, and pick out the open player.
Foul will be called on Haywood, and this is number 4.
Foul's on Brendan Haywood. That's his 4th. Team's 3rd.
So Doug Collins will bring Kwame Brown into the game to replace Brendan and see if he has any better luck.
No, Washington has to do a better job protecting the ball. They already have committed 4 turnovers in this quarter alone. That's not going to help them get back into this game.
Jordan has his 4th rebound of the night to go along with 16 points. Tries to find Stackhouse, but threw a bad pass. Wesley around Jordan. P.J. Brown. 17-point Hornets lead. See, they have 17 points off the Wizards' 11 miscues here.
I was going to say they only have 6 attempts in this. Make that 7 attempts. They're 3 for 7 in the quarter. The Hornets 5 for 13, make it 6 for 14. And the disparity in shot attempts is largely because of the offensive rebounds and the turnovers.
Nothing going right for the Wizards right now. Brown, and now Michael Jordan goes up to PJ to try to calm him down. Paul Silas and Doug Collins are on the court with Patrick Ewing. I did not see what precipitated it.
It was just a box-out situation, but both are physical players. Oakley not allowing Brown to get to that spot, and they got tangled. And they had a very difficult time separating those two.
Oakley with a takedown of Brown. We'll take another look at it as P.J. Brown appears to be leaving the floor. I'm not sure if they've ejected one or both players, but we will find out. He certainly is leaving the court.
Usually in that situation, the 2 players involved are 99% of the time ejected.
It appears Charles Oakley has left the floor as well. And so if that's the case, as we take another look at it.
Right to the right side.
Oh, Brown looks like, well, he's got Charles around the neck. At the very beginning of that rebound.
You saw that left arm go around the neck of Charles Oakley. You're right, I didn't see that. And now this is, they're trying to separate the two. McGlure is in there, some of the Wizards, Kwame. Well, Larry Hughes is in there. And the officials trying to get in there, and they had a heck of a time just trying to clear the path and separate the two.
Still determining what the assessment will be here, as again it appears both players have left the court.
Let's hope this is not one of those arenas where the home locker and the visiting locker are very close together, because I think the 2 of them are still pretty irritated.
They're not next to each other, but they're not far away. They're just down the hall from each other, actually. Mark Wunderlich, Nolan Fine, and Derek Collins, the officials.
Double technicals on Brown.
Tonight, double technicals have been called, and both have been ejected from the game. P.J. Brown is out, and Charles Oakley is out. Oakley in 23 minutes, 2 of 3 from the field, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 points. And Etan Thomas comes into the game and shoots the free throw and misses. P.J. Brown in 28 minutes, 2 of 7 from the field, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 9 points.
Well, I think in that situation, when the player's gone, the opposing team gets to select who will shoot the free throws.
You got a couple of teams who are trying to break out of the log jam at the bottom of the Eastern Conference playoff ladder. Everybody bringing their level of fierceness. Oakley surprisingly involved in a number of those plays. He's since been ejected along with P.J. Brown. And we did get a ruling on that. When 2 players are ejected and there's going to be a free throw and one of the guys got ejected, the opposing coach gets to pick who's going to shoot the free throw, and the guy has to come from the bench.
And it was a good choice by Paul Silas. Aiton Thomas missed both free throws.
Clanked them both. Wasn't even close. I'm looking forward to seeing Juan Dixon, who's now back after missing 6 weeks.
Stackhouse, who had missed 4 games, has 22 points. That's his average.
But Juan Dixon is a real player and can be so valuable to a team like Washington when they do fall behind.
Oh, a steal by Stackhouse in front of Mashburn, still trying to find a handle.
That's a tough shot. And they're going to call this foul on Robert Pack. Possession back to Washington. Life for the Wizards.
Slowly, they're working their way back in this thing. Baron Davis is going to come back in. Michael Jordan continues to sit. At what point will Doug Collins send MJ out there, Bill?
I think as long as things are going well right now, stay with your young guns. Now the Wizards don't play again until Friday night in Chicago, a game on ESPN. Stackhouse has got to move that ball. You take that many dribbles, the defense just digs in.
Campbell blocked it. Somehow Mashburn got it back, or Stackhouse got it back on the floor. And free throws coming up for the guy that we just talked about clanging a couple. Stackhouse around a pick. Kicks it back to Michael Jordan on the baseline. And Jordan's 0 for 6 in this half from the floor.
Nice strength by Eldon Campbell in holding off another real strong man in Aiton Thomas.
New Orleans can use some clock on each possession. Baron Davis throws up a 3, and Wesley comes down with a rebound. And then Davis lost it. Stackhouse tried a little touch pass to Brown, and Baron Davis got in the way of it. That 3-pointer will help the Wizards' cause. 9 points for Lou.
They need a miracle now, Washington. Baron Davis milked the clock. A little surprised Baron didn't just pull that last one out after the nice offensive rebound by David Wesley.
Just used the clock again. Jordan on Mashburn and stripped him of it. Stackhouse on the outlet. And a blocking foul on Davis.
Finally, a trip to the line for Jerry Stackhouse, who normally lives there.
And he's one of the best free throw shooters in the league. No field goals since 5 seconds remained in the second quarter for Michael Jordan. His team still hangs a threat of a chance here with 2:30 to
leading scorers in the NBA.
Still
in
about
third place now.
Still about 7,000 behind Kareem, but that shot put him past Wilt Chamberlain. That was his 14th point of the night. But he has struggled mightily in the second half. Has not played much of the second half, but he hasn't hit a basket since about 5 seconds left in the second quarter.
The flow has completely disappeared, not only for Michael Jordan, but for the entire Wizards squad. And if Jordan, who is currently averaging 18.5 points a game, was to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he would have to continue averaging 18.5 points a game.
For how many years?
For the next 4.5 years.
And that ain't going to happen.
If he played all 82 every year. Remember, Kareem played 20 years. Karl Malone is now in his 18th year. Wilt played 13 years.
Michael's in his 15th and almost had that rebound. His team does have it. This is the first time it's been single digits since halftime. A 9-point lead at halftime. It's 9 right now. Stackhouse not a good shot there either. And again, a blown opportunity with 2 minutes left for the Wizards.
They need better team play on Washington.
Davis is fouled by Brown.
And they need to get a lot better at their transition defense and contain defense from the perimeter. This has to be so frustrating for Doug.
You heard him in the huddle earlier talking about they're killing us on transition, and that has continued through this third and fourth quarter. 99-90. Davis trying to make it 10 and does.
Well, Davis, Wesley, George Lynch when he was in Mashburn, just a parade to the basket. And it's not as if Brendan Haywood and Kwame Brown are sending anything back once they get to the basket.
When New Orleans shoots more free throws than their opponents, they almost never lose, and that's what's happening here tonight. 11 made free throws.
Plus 11. They got an 11 free throw advantage in an 11-point game.
So that's been the difference. Michael Jordan finally scores first point since the final minute of the first half. 18 for the game. Again, it's 9 with a minute and a half to go.
Coming with the trap, trying to make him give up the ball, but the way they're stroking free throws is...
They haven't needed the field goal, which they haven't had one in 5 minutes. There's a block shot by Thomas.
Eton Thomas done a nice job.
Yep. He'll go out. They'll put in offensive firepower in Juan Dixon. If he can get an opening, he can stroke a three. Pack comes in, and Campbell goes out.
Go to their small lineup now. Just spread the floor, get free throw shooters and ball handlers out there.
7 seconds now on the shot clock. And Doug's trying to make this defense aware of that. They are. Baron Davis got a good look at a three, though. Rebound comes free, McGlure.
How many offensive rebounds for New Orleans? They're getting them all in. Why not? They've missed their last 7 shots. They're getting lots of practice at it.
Yes, they are. 10 on the shot clock. Wesley on a drive, and he missed. And there's another rebound, and it's McGlure who finishes off another solid night for him. 16 points, and that might just about do it.
Has not been a good night on the glass for the Wizards.
Stackhouse trying to get it in the lane to Brown. It's stolen by Pack, and here comes the pack of Hornets, and he'll pull it out.
Wisely, just milk the clock now.
So the Hornets are going to go to 15-6 at home. And they get a standing ovation from their sellout crowd tonight. Many of whom came to watch Michael Jordan, obviously. But they packed this place in their new city in their first year, and with good reason. They've now won 3 straight. Stackhouse might be the final basket of the ball game, as he's going to end up with 26. But it's inconsequential tonight because it's going to be a 9-point victory for the Hornets. David Wesley hands the ball to the official. That ball will go to that man in the locker room as he moved to the number 3 spot all time, but his team lost 103-94. Coming up next, Sports Center, Carl Ravitch and Linda Cohn will be along. Right now for Bill Walton and David Aldridge, Brad Nessler saying good night from New Orleans on our NBA Wednesday. Michael Jordan, another milestone, but his team falls to New Orleans.